Hi there, this is Jackson O'Brien. I am the Coffee Educator for Peace Coffee here in sunny Minneapolis, Minnesota. And today I'm going to show you how to make a French press. A French press is a marvelous little brewer. It's very, very easy to use. It's not at all fiddly, and most of the action of brewing it actually takes place passively. You can go do other things while you're doing it. So it's a great tool for the beginner. It also brews a good amount of coffee at a time, so if you're a total caffeine fiend or if you're sharing with a friend, it's a marvelous way to brew coffee that way. When you're brewing for a French press, you'll need the following things. You will need a French press, you'll need a thing to measure your coffee with, you'll need a scale, and a grinder and a kettle with water, about 200 degrees Fahrenheit or so. If you don't have some of these things, you can kind of get away without it, but these things really make the whole experience way better. So in order to brew your French press, we're going to start out by warming our press pot. Just going to pour some hot water just along the edges of the French press. All this is doing is warming the brewer up, so that when we're actually brewing coffee with it, we put the water in there and the brewer doesn't chill the water and keeps it at a consistent temperature, so we're really extracting the right kinds of flavors out of the coffee. Second, we're going to measure our coffee. We're going to measure 50 grams of coffee, and we're going to use 800 grams of water for this brew. If you don't have a scale or you're just against electricity for some reason, that's going to be around 2/3 of a cup. And you can measure 800 grams of water by measuring 800 milliliters of water with any measuring cup that has metric on it. You're going to grind this at setting number 25 on this Baratza grinder. This is going to be a nice coarse grind. It should be roughly the size of commercial breadcrumbs. I always use Manischewitz matzah meal as my guidepost. Once that coffee is ground, we're going to discard our rinse water. Put all that coffee into our brewer. Set it on the scale and tear it out. I'm just going to pour until the scale reads 800 grams. The important thing right here is just to make sure that all that coffee gets saturated. I like to kind of rotate the brewer as I do so, just to make sure everything gets wet. Once the whole brew bed is wet, kind of go along the edges. Get some of those clingy grounds down to the bottom. And just pour until that scale reads 800. All right, once we've got that, we're going to set the lid with the filter on it, press it down just a little bit so that that complete cake of coffee is completely submerged. And then we're just gonna walk away and do something else for 6 minutes. Whatever you want to do, you brew you. That's fine. I'm not your dad. How is Pikachu so fast? All right, so now we're back where we are. It's 6 minutes later. The brew is done. It's time to finish things up. So in order to do that, first what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pop this filter. Press it down and pull it right back up. And watch what happens as we do so. You can see all of those grounds just kind of cascading down to the bottom of the brewer. Do that one more time. Then we just push that down gently. And now you've got yourself some coffee. Make sure that the vent side of the top of the lid here is towards your spout. That'll help it pour a little bit easier. So now we've got that, got ourselves some coffee. Hope that you've enjoyed this and hope that you learned a little something. Come back and see us again sometime. Skål.